Am I the only one that sees that? That's why I say projection is a hell of a drug. Projection is a real thing, which brings me to my other point about people having insecurities, about how people are so of the flesh and so of themselves and just so about being presentful and just being of superficial things, and how they may not have insecurities, but for some reason when they see an individual is different or an individual is okay with themselves, but what like there's an individual that's like off compared to the rest of society, like they don't look like the rest of, or they might have a mark or something, just something that makes them look off to the to a certain individuals. It's it's weird how, like I said, they might not have insecurities, right? Or they may claim they don't have insecurities, but for some reason an insecurity is grown when that individual sees that there's a flaw in someone else, and that someone else is not acknowledging that flaw on them, and they feel like that's I don't know how to explain it, y'all. Okay, so let me try to throw an example. Okay, so you have two people, right? So you have a person. Let's take the condition. What is the condition? The condition that that Winnie Harlow has. Vertigo, is that what it is? So let's take vertigo. Okay, y'all know what I'm trying to say. The thing that Michael Jackson had, y'all know what I'm trying to say. And how we all I ain't gonna say we, but how people pointed at him for being different. His skin was changing, and there's all kinds of things about him and all that. And then now we're learning that that's a real condition, and people really going through that, whether they're whatever, And so what happened was, we didn't have that insecurity. There was no insecurity about that. But when we saw that, we saw that come into light, that we instantly grew an insecurity. And it wasn't an insecurity about, oh, that might happen to us, but it's an insecurity that someone else grew because they saw that someone was comfortable with having that flaw. Does that make sense to y'all? I see that a lot. I just saw it today, and it made me think about that. And then it made me also think, that's why I'm talking about all of this, because I'm like, that's where that's like projection and things like that comes from. Because you'll have someone that, is not used to seeing something, and then they see something they're not used to, and then they start low-key trying to pick at that, trying to make that individual feel insecurity, trying to have an insecurity. I know I'm getting somewhere. That means something. I know I'm getting somewhere.